Millennials, also known as Generation Y, are the nation's largest ever generation. Almost 80 million people were born between 1980 and the early 2000s. That makes them hugely influential on the economy, particularly in retail. They're not only redefining traditional retail, they are also redefining ownership to suit their lifestyles. CBS News senior business analyst Jill Schlesinger is here with more. Jill, good morning.
Good morning.
So what is the difference when it comes to these people born between 1980 and 2000 and past generations?
Well, what's fascinating is they've come of age amid two huge bubbles, right? We had the tech boom and bust, and then we had the recent housing boom and the financial crisis. And so they have really looked like, it's almost like the children of the Depression.
Yeah.
They have different habits that they've formed. They're not interested in owning a house or a car. And part of that is the fear factor, right? I saw my parents lose their house. I saw my mom have to go through her retirement account. A lot of that is very informative, but a lot of it is also around that they're just not making as much money. They've got student loans. And of course, the emotional fact is they're nervous. They're more nervous as employees and as consumers.
Is this a temporary thing, do you think, Jill, or is this a permanent shift in the psychology of the American consumer?
Well, we'll have to see. I think right now it's powerful, and we are seeing some companies take advantage of that, right? Because you look at the kinds of places like you look at an Uber. I don't need to go and get a car. I can just get an Uber when I need a car. I can get a Zip car. I don't need to go find a hotel. I'll do Airbnb. So we are seeing the technology. These kids have their phones in their hands. They can create sharing experience. They can borrow. They can rent. They don't really have to buy. And so whether that continues or not remains to be seen, but it is happening right now.
It's interesting. This story led to a debate. A lot of parents of millennials said, no, it's not that they don't want to buy. They just want someone else to buy. They want parents to buy. But I am curious, like when you think about how retailers have to adjust, what do they have to do to tap into people who say, I only want to rent?
Yeah, this is really tough because the traditional retailers are falling behind. They're dying to figure out how do we take advantage of this millennial generation, right? We now know they're the biggest part of the workforce. It's almost 80 million people. They're making more money. How do we get them? They're a little slow, I have to say. They're having a hard time finding them. A few of the old line retailers are finding some success. Patagonia recently launched an interesting service. They said, hey, you don't like the clothes you're wearing and you bought them here? Bring them back.
Right.
We will give you a credit. You can buy something new, and we'll go sell that used clothing in our store in Portland, Oregon.
Living through these two bubbles has also made them reluctant investors, but are they savers?
It's an amazing paradox. They're fantastic savers. They are the best savers of any cohort, according to recent studies. So they are saving money like crazy. They are fearful of investing. We saw a survey that found about 93% said, A, I don't trust financial markets or financial brokers or advisors, and B, I don't know enough about this to feel confident enough to go and invest. Now, that poses a challenge, right? Because they're young and we're investing for years and decades in the future. So we've got to get them on board with this, but I think they will get there.
Fascinating. Jill Schlesinger, thanks so much for being with us.